When you first brought your cat home and looked into those big eyes, did you actually know what they were trying to say to you? Probably not. When you first brought your cat home and looked into those big eyes, did you actually know what they were trying to say to you? Probably not. Yes, they are absolutely adorable when they play. But behind that cute face, there is a highly complex feline language that most first-time owners completely miss. And here is the hard truth. If you constantly misunderstand their subtle signals, which almost everyone does at first, you could be slowly breaking their fragile trust. You might think you are showing them affection, but in their world, you are actually doing the exact opposite without even realizing it for a single moment. It is time to fix that. Let us start with the absolute biggest misunderstanding of all, the one that makes every new owner feel entirely rejected. 1. Their need for space is never a form of rejection. You bring them home expecting constant cuddles on the sofa, but instead, they sit quietly far away. You watch them sitting on the other side of the room, and you feel a wave of disappointment. You think to yourself, my new cat just hates me. That is not them being cold or unfriendly. That is actually the ultimate compliment. In the feline world, maintaining a calm distance is how they show secure attachment. Researchers at Oregon State University found that securely attached cats simply do not need constant physical contact to feel entirely safe and comfortable in their new environment. Just being in your presence, sharing the exact same room while doing their own thing, is more than enough to satisfy their deep need for social connection. They do not need to be held to feel loved. If your cat could magically put this quiet distance into human words, it would sound just like this. I feel so safe and I trust you so much that I am perfectly happy just to exist in the exact same room as you right now. And by the way, if your fiercely independent cat suddenly will not leave your side, do not brush it off. We will get into what that really means later. 2. That sudden bite was definitely not out of anger. You are gently petting them, they are purring loudly, and then out of nowhere, they bite your hand. You immediately pull back, feeling betrayed. But that is not aggression. That is simply overstimulation. A cat's hair follicles are incredibly sensitive to every single repeated human touch. The delicate hair follicles of a cat are incredibly sensitive to touch, and repeated stroking can suddenly turn from perfectly good to physically overwhelming in a single second. They probably gave you several subtle physical warnings right before they decided to bite, like a sharply twitching tail or slightly flattened ears pointing to the side. However, human eyes very often completely miss these tiny feline signals. We just keep petting them because we assume they are still enjoying the physical affection from us. So that sudden bite is absolutely not an act of aggression. It is simply their only remaining way to firmly say they need you to stop touching them. They still care about you deeply.
Sorry.
If your cat could clearly speak human words right after a sudden bite, they would tell you something exactly like this. I love you very much, but all of my sensitive senses are entirely overwhelmed right now, and I just need a quick, quiet break to calm down. And hey, if this is already lifting some of that new owner guilt, hit like and subscribe so we can reach more cat parents who deserve to know this. 3. They are not being stubborn when they furiously scratch your nice furniture. It is incredibly frustrating when they ruin a brand new sofa you just bought. You might shout and think they are doing it entirely on purpose to upset you, but that is definitely not an example of intentional bad feline behavior. That is actually a deeply ingrained survival instinct designed to mark their personal territory and make them feel completely safe and secure in your shared living space. Cats have special invisible scent glands located right in their front paws. Every single time they scratch a surface, they leave both a visual mark and a scent. That comforting scent acts as a clear signal to the feline brain. By scratching your favorite chair, they are literally writing their name on your shared belongings. They are deliberately blending their personal smell with yours to create a unified family scent. They are claiming you as an important part of their own family group. It is the biggest compliment they can give. If they could translate that destructive scratching into a human sentence, it would sound incredibly sweet and like this. This is my wonderful home. And I want the whole entire world to know that I proudly live here with you and that we belong together forever. 4. They literally do not understand punishment at all. When they knock a glass off the table and you shout loudly, you probably expect them to feel guilty. But the truth is they do not feel guilty. Guilt is an entirely human emotion. Instead, their highly alert feline brain simply links your loud shouting to immediate danger. They do not associate the intense yelling with a broken glass on the floor. In their mind, they just associate that sudden, terrifying noise directly with you. Punishing a cat does not fix the bad behavior. It only destroys their trust and makes them deeply fear the exact person they rely on the most. A feline brain is wired for survival, treating sudden loud noises as a predator threat. So when you yell, they see you as a predator attacking them. It is heartbreaking when you think about it from their perspective. If they could somehow explain their deep confusion to you, it would sound exactly like this. I do not understand what is happening right now. Why is my absolute favorite safe person in the entire world suddenly acting like a terrifying and unpredictable threat? Instead of shouting, simply redirect their energy with a toy or a scratching post. Positive reinforcement is the only language their feline brain truly understands and respects. 5. They are constantly talking to you without making a single sound. You might always wait around for them to meow just to show you some obvious affection, but their loudest and most sincere declaration of love is completely silent. It happens when your cat looks at you from across the room and squints slightly. Then they very slowly close and open their eyes. That is absolutely not them just falling asleep or feeling tired. That is a highly deliberate and complex social signal. A team of researchers at the University of Sussex recently proved that this exact slow blink is actually a cat equivalent of a genuine and warm human smile. In the wild, closing their eyes in the presence of another creature is extremely dangerous. Doing it around you means their guard is completely and totally down. They are showing ultimate vulnerability. If you could magically translate that beautiful slow blink into our human words, it would mean something incredibly sweet, just like this. I feel completely and utterly safe right here. Because you are here with me, I know that absolutely nothing bad is going to happen to me today. It might seem like a small, quiet gesture to you, but in the feline world, it is the absolute highest compliment they can ever give to a human being. 6.
I'm not sure.
This is the exact moment I promised you at the start of this video. Sudden changes in their behavior are never just a simple feline mood swing. If your fiercely independent cat suddenly will not leave your side, or your normally cuddly cat suddenly hides under the bed, do not ever just ignore it. That is not them being dramatic or annoying. In the wild, showing any signs of weakness or pain instantly makes a cat a target for larger predators. Veterinary researchers note that their deep evolutionary instinct is to always suffer in absolute silence and carefully hide their physical discomfort from everyone around them in the house. So a sudden, drastic change in their daily routine is very often the only clear clue they will ever give you that something is physically wrong with them. If they suddenly become clingy, it means they are feeling extremely vulnerable, and they are actively seeking out your protection because they feel completely safe with you. If they suddenly become clingy, it means they are feeling extremely vulnerable, and they are actively seeking out your protection because they feel completely safe with you. They cannot simply cry out or ask for a doctor. If they could magically ask you for help, it would sound incredibly heartbreaking, just exactly like this. I am hurting right now and I do not know what to do, but you are the only one in the entire world I trust enough to tell. If you ever notice this sudden change, please take them to a qualified veterinarian immediately. They are secretly relying entirely on you to protect and save them. Every single confusing thing they do, from scratching your sofa to silently blinking across the room, is a beautiful piece of a hidden and deeply loving language. They are definitely not just aloof roommates who only care about when their next meal is coming. That is a total myth that completely misunderstands true feline nature. They carefully chose you to be their family. They mark you as their own. They learn your daily routines, and they communicate with you every single day. So the very next time you look at your cat, please remember how much they truly depend on you for their emotional comfort and absolute physical safety. Because to them, you are never just an ordinary owner who feeds them. You are their ultimate protector, their chosen family, and their entire wonderful world.